the clips, right?
Which clips? The ones that we're cutting up that for this podcast?
Yes. So the clips, which is comprised of "I'm Your Pusher" and No Mally. They are
He's not
releasing.
From Toronto, so no malice.
Very clever.
That's local news for you guys that are.
Yo, local news is crazy.
In Japan.
Konnichiwa. That is Japanese, right? I don't want to be culturally insensitive. They are releasing their new album. What is it called?
Hell hath no. That's
Come on, man. It's let God figure these things out for us and our people.
Anything that the Clipse do, I'm listening.
So I'm gonna say this quickly because we're gonna go through this quickly. So to make a long story less long than it needs to be, is that Clipse are reuniting for a new album. Let God Sort It Out, executive produced or predominantly produced by Pharrell Williams. So this is obviously not a Neptunes thing because Neptunes is categorically dead as far as the understanding is. They dropped a couple of snippets. They dropped a full record where Malice does really well. We know Pusha's dope. Pusha's dope. Wow.
Wait, no Pusha's dope?
Come on.
T.
Come
Pusha's
on.
dope.
On. Play footsies with
Pusha's
me, goddammit.
Dope.
And there is a...
That's fucked up.
There was a meme that was going around, which was a video footage at one of the Kendrick Lamar concerts where Kendrick was performing his ass off. Pusha T was there with his arms folded because he was waiting for a feature. And it looked like he was waiting to ask him about the feature as soon as the show was done.
I never saw that.
No, because...
I never saw that clip.
Okay, but I want you...
He was on one today.
Yo, hold on. No, I want you to think about this. You know,
is this recent?
Yes. You know.
No, but he had this verse from a while ago. They said.
No, but just walk with me here. Okay?
Go with the joke.
A while ago. Who fucking what? You in their business? You and UMG? Listen, Pusha had his arms folded. You know what? You're listening to something, but you're not listening.
That's what Trivelle does to me all the time when I. Never mind.
Yo, you know what? You're like, because you're waiting for them to finish. So like, yo. So like, what's the? Because the rumor was that he was waiting for the feature.
Yo,
right?
I'm an artist. I experienced this shit.
Right. So anyway,
I know what it means. I know the feeling.
So there's a lot of confusion going along with this thing. So Kendrick is supposed to do this verse. Apparently he does it, right? Apparently there's some things that are in this verse that could be about Drake.
Who said that?
This is what the streets are saying.
I hate the streets.
Unfortunately, we've got this information before we can confirm for 100%. But who cares about confirmation? Fuck, what is this, a quinceañera?
It's a show. And nothing here is real.
Right, everything's an illusion. So he has this Kendrick feature who says things apparently about Drake in it. Because, you know, when you're rapping, you're going to say things... You know, apparently the word is, for the people that heard it, is that it's more of a State of the Union. It's not really he's not really saying things about Drake. But let's just say he is. So Universal then says, Def Jam, who Pusha T has his solo deal with and then brought Clipse over in 2024 to you know, continue their music. They say that you have to remove the parts in which have words and things that sound like you are dissing Drake. And they say... No, we're not doing it. So what happens? They pick up their ball and they go to Rock Nation Distribution. Now, here's the thing. We just started this thing talking about division and other mathematics. That doesn't happen for free. Pusha T and co. had to pay 7 figures to get out of the deal that had 3 albums left from Def Jam so that they could take their ball and bring it somewhere else because they
3 albums of the Clipse,
or whatever. We don't see. That's the thing with duos. We don't know if they put that together. We don't know if that was separate. But for all intents and purposes, we got to move this over to this deal, and now you are paying 7 figures to get out of your deal.
That's crazy.
So that you can release this verse, and it's like, well, I guess a lot is hinging on this verse, right? And I guess you're getting Kendrick Lamar arguably at the hottest that he's been, in turmoil.
That's not arguably. Don't know that.
No, it is arguably.
No. When was Kendrick more hotter?
And it's a high life, and it's a bad life, and it no. Okay, so
can you talk to your friend?
Right. So anyway,
he knows.
Here's the thing that I discovered. Okay, because from our understanding, Def Jam is universal, Interscope is universal, Republic is universal. All these things, everything's universal except things that are not, right? So we just assume that everything is under one umbrella, right?
Shout out
Tory Lanez. One umbrella or many umbrellas if it's raining a lot. So what ends up happening is that there's actually been lines drawn in the sand in the universal world of things. So what we don't know is that it is not clear cut, because the first thing you'd be like, if Def Jam is under Universal, then why do they have a problem with the Clipse having a Kendrick verse dissing Drake? Like, this is their MO. They've ran with this for 365 days. Like, this is not new or special. So the word is that apparently Interscope is like UMG West and Republic, you know, where Drake's deal and stuff. It's more like UMG East. And when they did their restructuring, Def Jam got dissolved and put under the Republic side of things. So Clipse coming and saying, hey, we dropping this record with Kendrick. You got a litigation going on. You got people in the building who have helped Drake, who love Drake, who respect Drake, and like, wait, you guys are about to do this shit again? You about to drop this shit again? And they're like, yeah, you're gonna have to like censor that shit. You're gonna have to do. And remember there was a song on Kendrick's album GNX where he has a bunch of bleeps and stuff. Now we start to understand that some of these bleeps really are potentially things that they told him he can't say.
So why couldn't they just blank it out too?
Because Clipse
Copy
said,
Kendrick.
Exactly. Apparently they said they didn't want to do it. Now, this could all be publicity, right? This could all be marketing.
It could be.
Brings more light to the album, makes
That's
it
true.
sound, salacious.
Everything is a rollout.
What did Kendrick say, right? Or it could be the truth and they didn't want to be bought, and hence why they paid millions of dollars to get in a contract.
They didn't pay.
So Stephen Victor, Pusha T's manager, is lying to a magazine that came out.
Yeah.
What's your...
Rock Nation paid.
Oh, that's what he means.
You son of a bitch.
Rock Nation!
Rock Nation paid. It was that's
Okay, money exchanged hands.
They applied their events to being bought out.
Money exchanged hands. So that's what you think. That's a really
That's
good.
not- that's-
that's a good
that's
take.
a great-
The
That's
artists
a-
didn't come up with any money.
Yeah,
What they
these
did
guys.
is they shopped it. They said, look,
Yeah.
you're not going to let us release it. We want out. They said, well, look, you owe us 7. So they went to somebody else and said, yo, can we sign for it? They probably said, oh, will you do 6 of it? I said, yo, if we come to 7, we'll come to you right now because they're willing to sell us for that.
Yeah.
And then, okay, well,
And
what
he
you
got a great relationship
We have a
with-
Kendrick verse. Trust me, you're a recruit.
And he has a great
And we got
relationship
two
with
coming right
Hove.
after.
It's with Hove. Like it's Pusha has. I think Pusha might have the most features of Hove.
Question:
So-
Who were you just texting now? Did you just text someone to get this information?
No.
No, I think that's what you did. I think you got the real. Is that what you were doing? No, you just showed me the time. No, because it was very timely. It just looked like you went and got the real tea, because that sounds, and the real tea. That sounded very well thought out. Like you knew what you were talking about. Like that sounded more than a hypothesis.
No.
Like
No.
So
This is me hypothesizing.
wow. Well then, Stephen Victor, you're a bad man. Because they made it sound like they had to come out of pocket. But I guess if we don't know their deals, right?
But if
we
that's
don't know
part
the
of my
ins and
deal,
outs,
then that is out of
But
pocket.
it's a
Just
distribution.
I would have had it.
yeah, it would have been.
had it.
Yeah.
That's, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But that means, okay. Because if that's true, then I have to believe all the conspiracy theories about Rock Nation. I have to believe all the terrible things that they say that Rock Nation is in charge
we do
of.
gotta believe
they're
in some
charge of the energy that comes to Earth.
We gotta believe
some government taxes. I have to believe they're in charge of Moderna. I have to believe these
Didn't
things.
an old Lauryn Hill song say conspiracy theory? Well, did she say that in a
That's
song?
perfect segue. I have one question for you guys.
Yeah.
Hold on. My daughter's trying to do something. I have to accept their permissions. This is what happens. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay, good dad.
No, this is not good dad, because I'm preventing her from using social media. How's that a good dad?
There's a section of the world that will say that's a good dad.
It's amazing.
Yeah, good dad, bad, rich dad, poor dad.
You're
Okay.
limiting her social media use. That's important.
Yeah, but I'm enabling it now, so I'm an enabler.
Yeah, because it's in. Just give it 30 minutes.
Right. It was 15. But anyway, so there's a lot of places we can go, but I want to say this.
You might want to sit down for this.